Hey, there's Tammy in the background. Say hello, Tammy.
You don't have me on.
I do too.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
All right, here we go. TV Unlimited. Hi, I'm breeding for the first time. The mother is not producing enough milk and has a uterus infection. I took her mother and the pups to the vet, and the lady at the vet said she needed to be syringe fed with long teats, and the pups don't like it. Okay, so read a bit more. Well, look, here's the thing. Puppies have to be fed. That's straightforward. I mean, it's obvious. If puppies aren't fed, puppies don't make it. So you've got to get calories in. Puppy needs to be gaining ½ ounce a day. If you're doing that, you're in the right place. How do you get that done? Well, if mum's got milk, great. If mum doesn't have milk, then you've got to do one of two things, either bottle feed or tube feed. And if you bottle feed, you can go look at my videos, but I recommend that you use a regular human 0 to 3 month old silicone nipple. The vet said that you'll flood them. Well, if you hold the bottle upside down and there's nothing coming out of it, you will not flood them. They will drink at their own rate. If it's peeing out when you've got it upside down, then you've probably got too big a hole and you get another nipple. Now, if you've got warm milk in there, which you should have, and it's not all equalized to the same temperature, and you turn it upside down, the milk heats the air up above it and that'll push milk out. So just be aware of that. A little bit of milk coming out is not the end of the world. But you don't want it just streaming out. You know, just to have a few drops on the end of the nipples, fine, but it does not want to be streaming out. But my recommendation would be leave mum with babies if you can, so they keep on nursing to help bring a milk in if that's possible. But tube feed or bottle feed as necessary, and don't use these long pet nipples. I think they're worthless personally. All right. Somebody's asking if I could do a video on pinks and huskies and the koi gene. Nope, I don't know much about it yet. Erica Salea, do dogs in their second pregnancy show faster or about the same around 40 days? Neither. So dogs show sooner if they have lots of puppies on board. So if you've got a dog that's got a single puppy on there, you may not even show at all. If a dog's got 6 or 7 puppies on board, it'll probably start showing by the time you're about 10 days to 2 weeks out, like you're talking about. So that's it. Nothing to do with the fact the second time around. It's more to do with how many puppies physically are in the dog. Okay, coming on down. I'm going to use my mouse. Someone's getting ready to do their first litter. Good. John Wojcik says, what is cherry tan points? I have no idea what cherry tan points are. Tan points, 10 points. Tan points 80-80 or 80A with no brindle shows 10 points. Get cream on board, copy of cream, or 2 copies of intensity. Especially with an 80-80 dog, you get very white tan points, to be very clear. Happy Monkey, so the first shot should be at 6 weeks. Yes, that's what we do. But not everybody does it the same way, but our regime is 6, 9, 12 weeks. But you've got to come up with, you don't want to do it too early, otherwise the shot's not effective. You don't want to do it too late, you've got to start again. So there is kind of an area in here to get it right. And different people and vets will say different things, but we use 6, 9, 12. And other people are going to do it at 5, 8, and maybe 11. But there's a certain amount of variability to it. So I don't want to say what I'm saying is absolutely what you have to do, because it's not. 33mm photos. Just bought my Frenchie, 2 months old. Seller was hiding the tail on FaceTime. Received the dog, can't return it. Should I get it docked? It's medium length, and what would be the cost in California? Seller states the dog is 2 months old, weighs 2 pounds, super tiny. Okay, so the first thing is, when you do FaceTimes with people, ask for the person to show you the dog in all its entirety. So you don't want to be in a situation where someone's got their hand over the back end of the dog to hide it. That's obviously not cool. The problem is you've now got the dog, and so certainly your guarantee does not cover a long tail. It's not a life-threatening congenital defect, which is the way we do contracts. So what do? Well, you could dock the tail, sure. If you're going to do that, you want to wait till the dog's at least 6 months old. It's not really a thing we do with Frenchies. You didn't say it's you did say it's a Frenchie. It's not really a thing we do with Frenchies. And so the part of the problem is that if you breed this dog, it may well pass that gene on to other dogs, and you might get some long-tailed dogs, which we don't like to see. So, yep. But if you're going to dock it, you're going to have to wait till that dog's old enough and is at least 6 months old. Jeff Morgan, any tips or tricks on giving safeguard? Both of my females hate it. Yeah, so what I use is a syringe, and I basically, they've got their mouth clamped down shut, and I'll stick it inside their mouth and just start slowly pushing it in there. And the trick is to not let them start shaking their head so they can shake it away. You've got to hold onto their head and keep their mouth closed. And what Tammy does is it blows in their nose. I guess that makes them inhale. But, you know, it's not nice stuff, you know. What they say is a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. You know, it's that kind of thing. You can always follow it up with a treat, you know. You get them used to this. I mean, I don't do that, but I mean, certainly, you know, you could follow it up with a treat. I mean, there's other things you could do. For instance, if it's really a battle, you could take it and you could mix it with some honey and make a slurry out of it with honey and give it to them that way. And I'm sure that would fix the problem entirely. Cinderella. My female is huge, 56 days, and seems to be panting really rapidly all the time. First thought was that she was hot because she has a long coat. She's huge. Could this be an underlying condition with the pups? And it says, read more. It's the first that she's 23 months old. No, I don't think it's an underlying condition with the pups at all. No, I think this is just a dog that's hot. So panting is something you tend to see if you let a dog go all the way up to labor. That's one of the signs that you're in the right place. And typically panting means onset of, and I mean continuous panting. Does that for 20 seconds and stops for a few seconds and keeps on going. That typically is the onset of labor. And it normally means you're probably gonna have puppies within 6 hours or less or more. But that's not the case with your girl because you're doing it for days. So, you know, maybe she really is hot. I don't know what temperature you got the room at. But I would do all the other things to track where you are with this heat, because you don't want to have pups at day 56. So I've got videos. If you look at one of them that says something, it got the word loose in it, L-O-O-S-E, that talks all about this whole thing in some detail. Jake Bertram, got a fawn female about 6 months. What age do you suggest people look to do the first litter? And somebody, 33 millimeter, replied, 1 year old should be second heat if she looks mature enough. That's a good answer. That's what we do. We don't like to breed dogs that are, or we don't breed dogs that are less than a year old. And what we want to see is if it's a very small dog, that then maybe it's had its second heat, so it might be beyond a year old. Most dogs will have their second heat typically by the time they're a year and 3, 4, 5 months old. And that's a great place to start. You could breed a dog that's first heat a year old, but I'd want that to be most of its full weight, not a really small dog. And a dog that's not acting too teenagery. So this is not about whether it can have puppies or not. It's more about how does it look after its puppies. You want a dog that's mature enough that it will settle down and become a mum and not make you be the surrogate mum. Mr. Karim Quintero, I got a Platinum Isabella Carrier. So what do they mean by a Platinum Isabella Carrier? That would be a dog that is, if it's a Platinum, then it would be little d, little d blue, little co cocoa, little e cream. And if it's an Isabella Carrier, it'd have a copy of B. So it'd be little b as well, little b, big B. I want to use it with a chocolate merle, what can I get? Well, since your dog, both dogs have 2 copies of cocoa, you get all cocoa dogs. Half of them are going to be merles and half are not going to be merles. And then they're all going to carry a copy of cream, and they're all going to carry a copy of blue. And some of them could have the testable chocolate gene as well. Half of them would. So there you go. Britt Bush. We just bought a 14-week-old puppy from a breeder. We found out within the last month of hunting him that he has an elongated soft palate. You'll have to have surgery 6 months from now, what the vet has told us. They told us that we could still breed him after surgery. What is your opinion? Well, I think I talked to you about this in some detail over the phone. So here's my take on this. I think you're probably okay to breed the dog. I mean, certainly you could breed the dog and see what happens and see whether you start to have problems with elongated palates. But I think that this is a structural thing to do with the fact that it's a small dog, and not so much that I mean, you know, it's difficult here. So you know, what are the things that hereditary does to the breeding of dogs? Well, of course, if you've got 2 small dogs, you like to have small dogs, and if they've got very flat faces, they like to have flat faces, and if so, they could have this elongated soft palates and have breathing issues. So then, I mean, you could claim it's hereditary. But I think that if you put this dog with a less flat face, so you, for the most part, will probably produce dogs that don't have soft palate problems. So I would not be against breeding that dog, but I would make sure that you choose an appropriate stud and you see what you end up with to decide whether or not you need to continue breeding that dog or call it done. And we'll do one more. Edwin Jesus, what causes tear stains? And what can be done to treat tear stains or prevent tear stains? So, you typically see Frenchies who do have some eye drainage. They've got some little tears, little wetness here. And how it shows up depends on a couple of things. Lighter dogs, cream dogs especially, dogs that are very white, will really show that stain. Doesn't mean that all dogs have got it. Some dogs, white dogs, don't have the tear stain. There's also some enzymes that are in the tears that can make the stain darker and more obvious. There are things that you can give a dog, like angel eyes, which I guess changes, and I've used them, and they're somewhat effective. So the couple of the things that I know to do would be, one, you can take shampoo, and there's bluing shampoo, and that'd be the thing to use, and kind of be careful not to get in their eyes and really clean this area well. That would help. And the second thing is maybe try a product like Angel Eyes that supposedly changes the formulation of the tear stains, the tears, that causes less staining. But I think that either way you do this, it's a bit of a challenge. And it's not a problem for the dog, it's just a cosmetic thing. So lots of dogs have tear stains you can't even see because they're black moss, and they've got tear stains, you just don't see them. Okay, so there we go. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.